Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come hang out and check out my video. It's greatly appreciated. I know the world's gone crazy over the last year and a half or so, but I do hope that you guys are all having a fantastic day or morning or night or whatever it is for you right now while you're watching this. So you read the title of the video, right? So you already know that this is going to be a video where we talk about the original backstory of the very first Mortal Kombat game. However, let's be honest. I mean, the game came out 27 years ago. You're getting ready to watch a video where I talk about shit that you already know. But it is what it is, I suppose, right? So this is going to be the first video in a series where we're going to be going through all of the Mortal Kombat games and giving each of them similar videos to this one. And in each of those videos, though, we're only going to be using the information that we learned from whatever game that we happen to be talking about at the time. But for the first, the second, and the fourth games, we're going to be using the comic books that Midway released alongside those games because they actually do a better job telling the stories than the games do. And since Midway released them and they're tie-in comics, they are legit in canon, so it's not like I'm doing like one of those crazy DC comics or something like that. But as we go through the series, though, you're going to start to see some contradictions. You're going to start to see some inconsistencies between the games. And a lot of what we're going to be talking about in at least the first few videos has been retconned. But for now, I'm not even going to acknowledge that stuff whenever it happens. We're going to go back once we finish all the games. We're going to go back and make a separate video where we talk about all the retcons and all the changes and things like that that take place over the course of the the 27-year run since the game was first released. But this video, like I said, is going to be about the very first Mortal Kombat game, and we're using a comic book that Midway released, and we're using the game itself to kind of tell the story. So you guys ready? Let's go on ahead and let's get started. For ages, the Shaolin Temple had hosted a martial arts tournament where the greatest warriors from around the planet would come to compete for honor and glory. And at some point, over 500 years before the events of the first game, one of those warriors was Shang Tsung, who entered the tournament and he won. Shang Tsung is a sorcerer cursed by the gods, and to appease them and to maintain his youth, he had to not only kill his opponents, but he had to consume their souls as well. And this continued until he was finally defeated by a Shaolin warrior named Kung Lao. Years later, Shang Tsung returned, prematurely aged and weakened from the effects of failing to appease his gods, but he did not plan on dealing with Kung Lao himself. He brought his pupil, the 2,000-year-old, four-armed, half-dragon, half-human Goro. He fought Kung Lao, and when the smoke settled, when the dust cleared, Kung Lao was dead and Goro was the new grand champion, and this was the start of his 500-year-long win streak. It was this victory that allowed Shang Tsung to seize control of the tournament and corrupt it, using the souls of those defeated by Goro to achieve immortality. The events of the game take place 500 years after Goro defeated Kung Lao. The tournament takes place on Shang Tsung's island. Each of the fights would take place in one of 7 different locations, and while there are numerous competitors, the 7 playable characters are the only ones that we really need to concern ourselves with. Liu Kang trained at the Shaolin Temple as a boy. Liu Kang was a member of the secret White Lotus Society. However, after receiving his invitation for the tournament, he left the organization in order to represent the Shaolin in the tournament, hoping that his victory would allow him to end Shang Tsung's reign of terror and return the control of the tournament to its creators and rightful owners, the Shaolin Temple. Johnny Cage, a martial arts actor, arguably the biggest one on the planet, and he was never really taken seriously as a martial artist. People like to accuse him of just like not doing his own stunts. So, despite the objections of both his agent and his secretary, when he received his invitation, there was nothing that would stop him from entering. This tournament, if he wins, would be great for publicity, and it was also the chance for him to prove himself as a martial artist. Kano, a member of the criminal organization the Black Dragon, so he had heard rumors of the riches on Shang Tsung's island, so he planned to travel to the island, enter the tournament, kill Shang Tsung, and steal everything. Sonia Blade, a member of an elite special forces unit assigned to hunt down and capture Kano. After following Kano to the island, they were ambushed and captured by Shang Tsung's forces, and Shang Tsung was willing to release them, but first, Sonya would have to not only compete in the tournament, but she would have to win. Raiden, the god of thunder. He's a god, so I will never understand why Shang Tsung thought it was a good idea to invite him to compete in the tournament, but he did. In fact, he thought it was such a good idea that he actually went to the mountains himself to extend the invitation personally. Raiden accepted, but with a warning. He would crush everybody that stands before him. But at least he had the decency to assume the form of a mortal before, fighting and just destroying everybody like he could have done easily. Sub-Zero, a member of the secret clan of assassins called the Lin Kuei. He's a ninja with the ability to manipulate and create ice. Due to a series of events that I am not going to explain right now because they made an entire game about it that I'll be covering pretty soon, he was personally invited by Shang Tsung and he accepted. But what Shang Tsung failed to understand is that Sub-Zero had no interest in the tournament. He was not there to win the tournament. He had actually agreed because one of Shang Tsung's wealthy enemies gave him a big ass bag of money to go over there and kill Shang Tsung. Last but not least, though, we have Scorpion. So Scorpion is a ninja, and he entered the tournament because he had unfinished business with Sub-Zero that he intended to settle. See, Scorpion is dead. He's like a zombie or some shit. But he 2 years prior he was killed by Sub-Zero. So yeah, and he left behind a wife and a child. So clearly he's not very happy with Sub-Zero. So after finding out that he had entered the tournament, Sub-Zero's demons gave him permission to return to the mortal realm and exact his revenge on Sub-Zero. And now, to be completely honest, that's about it. I mean, there's not really a whole lot going on. That's the backstory for the very first Mortal Kombat game. So if you made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and click on like. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe too. I would really appreciate that as well. In the next video, we're going to be just covering just the comic book. I'm going to do a comic book review type video for the next Mortal Kombat video, but that's not going to be our next video. You got to stay tuned to see what we're going to put out next. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Hope you have a But until then, I can't even talk right now. God. But until then, I will see you guys next time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you then.